It's that time of year again. The lights get darker, decor becomes more haunting, YouTubers cranking out scary themed content, the children start dripping. It's October, and soon to be a Halloween. It's the most scariest time of the year, and I wanted to hop into these celebrations myself by doing some horror excursions in the realm of video games. But not just any video games. I'm talking Half-Life 1 mods, baby. And we're searching by most recent on ModDB. Since I'm a dumbass, I can't really narrow down my searches by genre of mod. So I scanned with my eyeballs and looked through these pages. Wait. Is that always there? Oh dang, and there's a bunch of mods I didn't see earlier. That could be worth... Well, that's embarrassing. Anyway, I found mods, people listed as having some kind of horror element. It's impressive the amount of effort people put into learning an engine and creating something with it, and being brave enough to throw that out into the world for every walk of life to judge it, myself included. I want to say before getting into these that I have a lot of respect for these creators. Despite critiques, I do want to at least showcase that modding is still alive for Half-Life 1, even after 25 years. That's crazy. Please keep it up, all you crazy diamonds. Anyway, let's get into it. This one was the first one I saw scrambling through a bunch of mods. This one's based in the Aliens universe. This seems like it could be neat. Oh. Please set to 106. You got it. I probably need a little spruce up of how to play a Half-Life game, and who knows whatever else this game could have in it. I'm just gonna let the footage talk for itself. Let you bask in the atmosphere of solitary echoes.
Welcome to your mandatory annual training unit. If you want to train your movement and basic skills, please visit the basic training course. If you want to train tool usage and weapon handling, please visit the advanced training course. You can quit the Welcome to your mandatory annual training. You can pass the first obstacle by jumping, the second by crouching, and the third. Good job on completing the basic training. Please also finish the advanced training if you haven't already done so. Welcome to the advanced training course. Since this is a medium security area, you'll have to authorize yourself before you can proceed. Please use the terminal to log in with your account. Seems like the light is broken in this corridor. Please pick up those emergency flares and use them to light the way. You can use your standard issue welding. See? Isn't that much more convenient than bashing the lock with a knife or a crowbar like some caveman? Talk to this synthetic person and tell them to open the door.
Error 0379 occurred.
The chances of synths harming humans are very slim.
Does not malfunction. Illogical behavior. Does not back it up. Back it up. Emergency. Shut. Illogical behavior. Back it up. Emergency. Does not illogical behavior. Malfunction. Malfunction. Emergency. Shut. Does not emergency. Shut. Illogical behavior. Malfunction. Emergency. Shut. Does illogical behavior. Emergency. Shut. Illogical behavior. Back it up. Malfunction. Back it up. Back it up. Malfunction. Does not emergency. Shut. Illogical behavior. Illogical behavior. Malfunction. 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 Emergency. Shut. Does not emergency. Shut. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. Illogical behavior. Does not. Illogical behavior. Emergency. Malfunction.
Welcome to the Advanced Training course. Since
Just kidding.
talk to this synthetic person and tell them to open the door. The chances of synths harming humans are
Insufficient memory. Lead the way, human.
Talk to this synthetic person and tell them to open the door for you. Don't be afraid. The chances of synths harming humans are very low. This weapon has a laser pointer which you should activate to increase the accuracy. Prepare for some bigger targets this time. The shotgun packs quite a punch, but it is not very effective at long range, so I'll let you get close and personal if you want. Watch out though, these beasts are quite vicious. Well done. This concludes your mandatory training. You can exit the training course now, or you can head up to the spawn control room and spawn some additional targets if you want to have some more fun. Very well done. You can leave the lobby on the first floor if you have completed both training courses.
Well, aside from the aliens and the textures, well, okay, yeah. Let's see. Let's see the real deal. Let's try medium. Oh. I guess I have to do the training course? Oh, wait, there's a way to skip it. Uh-huh. Hold on. Let me look back at the mod description and... To be fair to me, I haven't updated my glasses in a decade. The sun was in my eyes. Oh well. It seems neat. I really do hope they finish this. At its core, it seems like it could be a fun Aliens Half-Life mod. The visuals are well executed for this. I hope they follow through for the rest of it, especially as well done as it is. On paper, it looks great. let's see, what they do, I guess, later on. This one had the longest recording session out of all of these mods for this video, and I wish it wasn't the case. Initially, the visuals are really cool. It's a neat, atmospheric little intro. Lots of nice texture work. Alright, so they give you a melee weapon. It's a pipe, your typical survival horror melee weapon. It's slow. It's very slow. And they throw you like these little quick head crab-like enemies that will just hit you no matter what before you can get a swing in. And then your typical bio hazmat suit man, he has infinite reach and a lot of health. And it's infuriating for a period of time because this is the only weapon you get for a bit. And they hit hard. And eventually you start getting other ranged weapons, and each one is still just as bad as the previous one. Like, everything hits so weakly. You waste so much ammo on just one enemy, and it feels like you're wasting your time. It's tedious. It's all very tedious. And then eventually I start hitting human enemies. They have incredible tracking ability. As soon as they see you, it's within an 1/8 of a second that they have sights on you and are already shooting you, dealing a lot of damage. I don't get why that's okay. And I bet you've been looking at the footage and noticing an odd trend. It all looks the same. It all looks like this. Every room is this vaguely blue or yellow or some other tinted corridor with the near exact same texture as the one previous. A lot of just strangely designed rooms that don't really go anywhere. It feels like it's all hallways connected to other hallways, and not any, like, distinct rooms, like, okay, this is the room where they experiment on arms. This is the room where we type on a computer and send images of frogs. Nothing. It's just weird corridors with weird railings, and sometimes there's boxes in them. Who knows what any of these rooms even do, or why they're here. Maybe that's the experiment. So everything looks exactly the same, and you bump into so many doors that are locked or blocked, and you gotta find some way to get through them or around them, and oftentimes it's just you have to enter a room and then come out another side of the room, and then a door is opened that wasn't open previously, and I don't know why it opened. I genuinely don't. There are some that do make sense, You gotta like hit 3 valves or something. You had to hit a few buttons and the door will open somewhere. It won't tell you where most of the time. So you're just running in circles, and eventually the path forward is available to you, and you're just like, oh, I don't remember how I got here or why I'm here. But there's enemies now. There's new enemies, and I can kill them. Which is another point about the enemies. 99% of them just kind of come out of the wall or the floor or the ceiling, and that's where they live. Every encounter design is just them coming out of something. And that's also kind of your cue that something has changed about a room. There are enemies spawning in it now, coming from this grate in the wall. And so there's a story. I don't know what happened. So, at the end of this, I want to reiterate a point. I don't know what it takes to make a mod, especially in this engine. So I at least want to congratulate them for making something that I don't have any patience to learn. I'm sure it takes a lot of time to figure out how to model and design a map and figure out where you should put enemies and weapons. Congrats to that. Congrats to that. And then there's this one. This one seemingly has a decent start. Filled out alleyway. It's got garbage and things make it kind of look lived in. A little dull in the color palette. But it's got a charm. That was goofy. But okay, lead the way, cutscene. Hell? What am I doing? Like what? What is that?
What's that?
It's not important. Who is it? Let me. No. Is that it? No. That's what I pointed out. I'm trying to climb. It's not doing anything.
God.
I don't even get that. What?
I'm gonna die.
What am I
So
doing?
painful. I'm
Where am I
gonna
going?
die.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Ouch,
What's
ouch,
happening?
ouch.
Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Down. Maybe I'm stupid. Let me look around a bit more. All right, I need to look it up. Go back to that alley with the weird tube meat thing and what? What's it? I thought this was some weird telegraphing that things are getting bad. Like this thing doesn't look safe to touch. Or I wouldn't want to touch that. Whatever. There's some bad jumps you have to make using the Half-Life butter physics and make it into some elevator shaft and underground level. You wander around a bit and find yourself in the Silent Hill fire escape room. Then you find a room upstairs with a bar. It's a weird layout, but sure, let's roll with it. I pick up the deadliest weapon, a beer bottle, and oh damn, a first encounter. Let me do the old Half-Life melee shuffle. They chose the wrong boy to put into a hell scenario. They put an anime protagonist up in here. Okay, now that I know I'm the fastest warrior in Ashfield, it's time to kill some Silent Hill 4 the room hole, which brought me to a rooftop with an AR that just doesn't do quite the same justice as my bottle hand. Oh, and I also figured out a weird glitch with melee weapons here. I'm not sure what causes this. I'm sure people have discussed this and have figured out what causes this glitch for hundreds of years. I don't know. I'm not sure why it happens, but it makes me happy. Overall, I appreciate the effort and the level looking lived in. People were here. But the rest of this is a little too nonsensical. And it just sort of ends. I even quick saved getting ready for the next zone, seeing the Silent Hill 4 the room hole up there, but it's just done. I don't recommend this one. Maybe this modder got better and I'll check out their other stuff later, because this was made originally more than a decade ago. Dead story. This one is probably the most frustrating one. It starts kind of interesting. You get an atmospheric hallway with your typical "where am I" introduction. There's some rough geometry for assets, but that's charming in its own right. You get a knife and kill a textureless shadow head crab. And go down spooky corridors and bust your way outside to a few stone shacks with green buttons that let you out. Now, I thought you'd get run over or something on the street here, but no. And push past that, you can find a little pile of garbage where you can see a small replica of a city. After that, I kind of do something screwy with the load screens that get stuck in the ground. Not sure what happened exactly, but regardless, you go deep into the abyss and find shadow men with whatever the hell's going on with their heads, and way too many of them. You keep going and get a pistol, finally, which you get to use in the darkest maze to fight the most effective enemy in a game where you have limited ammunition and limited health. The Shadow Alien Grunt. If you've played Half-Life 1, these things are tough and pretty damn annoying with their hive hand weapon, which fires hornets that track you and are pretty effective at hitting you around corners. For the first few times you're dealing with these things in Dead Story, they do incredible amounts of damage per hornet, stacking with your awful damage output with a pistol. Aggravating. Forced me to kind of brute force my way through these encounters. And then the game slowly falls apart. You get more weapons, and each are as garbage as the one before it. So you get these crappy weapons, and then you get these giant rooms full of enemies that are way too tough for the weapons that you have. It's exhausting. It's easy to get lost at these points too, because your only illumination is your Half-Life 1 flashlight. And if you played Half-Life 1, you know that the flashlight is has this weird kind of like lock-on thing to enemies. So whenever it gets stuck on the enemy, you can't tell if there's anything behind it, because it just illuminates the enemy, and that's it. You're in a complete pitch black, dark. It's terrible. The rest of the game is this exact dark maze with hundreds of enemies, and there's not a unique encounter in any of it. At a certain point, I genuinely dreaded seeing another zone crop up. I just wanted the mod to be done, and I finished this in about an hour. Just emphasize how exhausting it got very quickly. Dead Story ends on this weird zone where you can't see anything. Big surprise. In these like alleyways, streets, I guess. I can't really tell. And then a vague light shows up, and your character says something about how it's a hospital, and that you need to go there. There's a window that you, I guess, climb up, and he discovers that it's his room. I don't know. There's no indicator that it was ever his room, other than him saying it, I guess. Either way, it explodes and shows probably the saddest thing I've seen. Damn. Rest in peace, Gosha. Don't play Dead Story. But keep Gosha in peace. Okay, so we're 0 for 4 for our mods being worth your time, or at least worth my time. I can only expect that this one disappoints me in some... Oh. Wow. So, hey, we got a good one here. One small problem. It's not really a horror mod. I mean, there's horror elements in the same way that Half-Life 1 has some kind of horror elements, but I wouldn't categorize it as a horror game at all. But it doesn't matter. This mod is excellent. It's based off of the events of Half-Life 1, a surprise given its name, seemingly focused on Eli Vance and another perspective during the Resonance Cascade. The introduction is strong, and it kind of obviously has imported models from Half-Life 2. The man's looking weird in this context, but otherwise there's a lot of effort put into this. They got their own characters within this little side story that you kind of attach yourself to a little bit. They don't really have that much in the story, especially with this short.
That door for you.
You don't get a whole lot of time with them, but you recognize them and say, hey, I know this guy. Cool. I've seen him before. The weapons feel good. They're actually fun to use. Like, hey, this is the first mod in this pack, this video, where the shotgun just feels good. It's good to use. There's also backtracking in a way that I kind of like. Yeah, you have to move back and forth between these areas because you have to get one thing or something happens, it kind of blocks your way, so you have to go back and go the other way. But they changed drastically enough that it feels deserved. On top of that, you get the little extra things to look at. I do have one little complaint though. There's a moment where you gotta lead a couple characters through 2 loading screens, and these guys stop following you a lot. If there's something that they need to interact with, they will stop and you have to go in to interact with them again to like get them to keep following you. Either that or they get stuck on something and they just stop, or for some reason this scientist kept getting scared, I guess, of the military outside the window and he didn't want to go forward, but I kind of needed him to progress and he just wouldn't move at times. Anyway, I don't want to show too much because I think this one's actually worth your time. Again, I wish this was an actual horror mod for this, at least for this video, but otherwise I have Half-Life Echoes. Check it out. Check it out. ModDB. Good work. Well, alright, that was kind of a short little trip into Half-Life 1 modding. Don't let this color your expectations for the whole modding scene. If you haven't looked at a Half-Life 1 mod, I don't know how you wouldn't have bumped into one at this point if you're looking at a video like this. But it's full of unique perspectives and unique ideas, even if sometimes you kind of bump into the same kind of stuff over and over, or people just learning how to make a mod, how to make an interesting level, even just a little fun thing. I recommend checking out some more. I would like to check out some more, though I don't know if I'll be able to fit in the time for the context of Halloween in October. But either way, thank you for watching this video. I don't normally do voice content like this, and most of it was stuff that's like kind of streamed or stream of consciousness. Nothing ever really like, okay, let me sit down and figure out my thoughts for a video like this. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I enjoyed it, if it's good. Either way, look at more Half-Life 1 mods. Check out my other videos if you want. Later.